Shalom, family. How's everybody doing? Man, I had to take a second. I had to roll my sleeves up on this one. Because we're about to have a conversation, family. Shalom to you. I hope that everybody is in a good place. Hold on, I don't want to. Let me just come off Wi-Fi right there. All right, shalom, family. I am Haji Golightly. I hope y'all in a good place like I am. Want to take a moment and just welcome everyone to the Golightly perspective. I would love for everyone to just take a moment to subscribe to the Golightly perspective on YouTube. Check us out, family. See how we moving. What we're trying to do is just share some high-level concepts of family, the Israelite tradition, contrast and compare some different methodologies, thought processes, as well as we got some very relevant things in terms of preparation that we'll be bringing forth. Defense, because if you're like me and you're following the news and you see what's going on out in the world, it can be alarming. That's what I'll say. I'll say alarming because it ain't scary. I'm not fearful at all because I know the things that are coming to pass are supposed to come to pass. It is what it has been declared that it shall be. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'm very clear about that. And I got hope. And I know that you got hope. So big blessings to everybody that's joining me. I will be on YouTube, and this is streaming live on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with us on Facebook. I won't be before you long. I just wanted to just come in and tap in, share a couple things that you know that with me, typically I try to challenge the mindset that has been given to us by the dominant society. I challenge the things that we have been given. And then you ask yourself, what are the origin of these ideas? Where did I get these concepts, these ideas, these, these preconceived notions from? My understanding about life, love, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Where did you get these things? Are they specifically Americanisms? Are they Western ideology? And if from the West, what do you mean by American, by the European colonizer? What do you mean by Western ideology? And if you know that it came from a group of people that are not your people, why do you still hold these things as valuable? Why do you still hold them so near and dear to your heart? I will propose that many of us are still suffering from, I think Umar Johnson phrased it, post-traumatic slavery disorder, which is possible. And, I tend to, I speak to my people. I don't make any presumption to try to articulate anything for another people group. I talk to my people. I talk about my people. However, I do realize that I don't speak for my people. Far too many times we allow those that do not have the qualifications to begin to speak for us. And then we align with this contorted vision of life that's based on Percocet, Molly's, all type of rituals. Yeah. If you look out, who said this? Malcolm X talked about entertainers being speakers for our people group, how they put these people up before us. When he was being interviewed, they talked about how well the leaders are, kind of like, against the position that the Nation of Islam have. And he said, by leaders, who are you referring to? Lena Horne, a dancer, an entertainer. Dick Gregory, a comedian. Watch how they put these comedians and these dancers, these athletes, these entertainers up before us who have greater connection to the maintenance of the said power structure. I didn't even plan to go there. But where I do want to go. Hey, shalom. What's going on? Lisa Jones, Tamala, my sister, George Johnson. Blessings be upon you, man. What I do want to talk about real quick, and whether you know it or not, I'm almost done. I want to talk about a dark persuasion. Are we the victims of dark persuasions? And what I mean by dark persuasions, it may not always be because it's a negative thing, because it's a bad thing, but I say dark because it's been hidden. It's been hidden because we have not done the prerequisite work to go back and turn the light on some things, expose some things, and allow it to be what it is, to have a level of objectivity to where you can just call a spade, where you can look at something that has been given to you because you didn't author these things. You know that your parent did not just come up with this original thought, these political philosophies, economic philosophies, racial philosophies. What is the whole concept of race? Who told you that you should have a race? That's a whole nother conversation, family. What is race? Who's the author of said thing? Why did it come to being? Did it come to being by the dominant society that has been very hostile and aggressive toward our group to delineate and separate themselves from us as out groups to identify who should be in and who should be out of power? Maybe that's the reason for race, because it ain't about the color of your skin, because you got people that come over here from Saudi Arabia that's darker than you. People that come over here from India that are the Davidic tribe, I believe they're called. A lot of Pakistani people, very, very dark, much darker than me. But when they come and they apply for citizenship, it say that they are white people. How is that if it ain't just about skin tone? Excuse me. Why do we subscribe to said things? Are those things in our benefit? And those are some of the dark sayings, the dark persuasions that our people have fallen right into. We've fallen for it hook, line, and sinker. That this is the way that it is. Not only is it the way that it is, it's the way that it should be, based on said group having the right to rule and the right to define terms. See, I want you guys to get this in mind, to check this out. Those that own you, that are your possessors, that define the culture, that define reality for you, they have the ability to define and redefine terms. They also have the ability to define you. Are you being defined by a culture that is hostile toward you? Do you have knowledge of self? Do you have awareness of your identity? I had somebody come to me and say, "Oh, Haj, man, you talk good, but you still got your slave master's name." I said, "Oh, really? That's what you think? You're sorely misformed, because I'm Haji. Go lightly. I'm the son of William, who was the son of Daniel, who was the son of Freeman, who was the son of George. George was the first Golightly, born around in the 1700s, late 1700s in North Carolina. He was a slave. I reverence my ancestor. He was a slave born George Gould. He bought his freedom, changed his name from George Gould to George Golightly. And he had Freeman right around 1863, born a free man, Freeman Golightly. And so my last name, the reason I keep my name is because it's not a slave name. I have knowledge of self. My ancestors bought their freedom and they've been able to maintain it. And so I have an obligation not to just try to go back and connect with the God of our fathers or to connect with the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I got to connect to William, Daniel, Freeman, and George. And if I deny them, how dare I act as if I can make it back to the other patriarchs? And I'm saying something, family. I'm saying something. I'm saying that when you know who you are, the games don't work. The games don't work on one that has done the knowledge, that went back and asked himself some really, really hard questions about these dark persuasions that were in my head, that told me what manhood was, that told me what family was. Who gave you the definitions of family? And we also see, back to justify and to qualify my point, that in this culture, they have the ability to define and to redefine terms in their culture. They can change what marriage is. They can change what gender is. They can change whatever they want. And we say, hey, do whatever you want to do. It means nothing to me. They can define whatever political parties that they want. It means nothing to me. Because at this point, we have to decide to not just be in the culture, but outside of the culture. You can be in the culture, but not of the culture. You can engage in the culture without the culture engaging you. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a black heart in the chat. Give me a 7 in the chat if what I'm saying is resonating. I wish I had a bomb I could put on that thing. If what I'm saying makes any sense, family. And yeah, I had to roll up my sleeves. I got my tie on today, rocking the denim and the orange. That's just how I was feeling. If it's all right with y'all. Because even in the culture of the Israelite tradition, they say you got to dress a certain way. You can't do a certain thing. You can't present a certain way. I just tend to defy those things. Those things that are not in Torah, I should say. Oh, Tam, what you say? What's going on, baby brother? Everything is shalom. Everything is good with me. I hope that is good with you. It is all good with us over here. So these dark persuasions, family, I more or less just wanted to see if these things that we have subscribed to hold up under scrutiny. Can you scrutinize your thought processes? Can you scrutinize your theories, your ideologies, what you think a husband is, what you think a wife is? Correlate and connect it to this ancient tradition that stems from a timeless place, I would say. That if I allow myself to align with certain immutable, unchangeable, righteous principles, it doesn't matter what period in time I live. It doesn't matter which era I was born. It doesn't matter the terra firma. It doesn't matter the landmass in which I call home. That if I align with these unchangeable principles, then I assure you I'm going to be all right. That I've turned the light on my understanding. I'm not going to get as metaphoric as saying how, your third eye is open. I'm not going to go that deep, but I'll just use scripture, having the eyes of your understanding enlightened. How about that? Because I come from that tradition. I come from the tradition that says that we are a part of the lineage, the bloodline lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who had his name changed to Israel. So we have a different association with the text. We tried to live it when nobody else did. That's why we were so susceptible to the scriptures from the Bible, because it's in our DNA. It's like an echo. We've heard it before. It resonates and vibrates with us a little more richly than any other culture. So when you allow your mind to be cleansed, to be impacted, to be corrected, to be informed by this book, you will operate completely differently than those who do not. Why? They're still victims of dark persuasions. And I want to read a text to you guys. I want to read something real quick, and I'm going to be done. This was just something that was just really in my heart that I felt the need to share. And I don't have to be before you long. It's only been it's been less than 18 minutes. And your brother's almost done. I don't have to just listen to myself talk. I say what I have to say and I'm done. Catch it if you catch it. If you don't, you don't, because I put out specific messages. I put out specific content with the objective of connecting with those that are of like mind. If you're not of like mind, if you haven't questioned these dark persuasions, if you feel as if you already have it right and you have nothing more to learn, nothing more to do, that everything is good, then, what I'm saying won't resonate to you. But if you've gone another level deeper and you can feel that maybe, just maybe, it's more to this than what I've been told, even in the Israelite tradition, that maybe my family is one of the most important elements of who I am and what I ever will become, that if I'm able to influence my sons and I'm able to influence my daughters in the family structure, that may be my immortality. That if I just pause from eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, knowing justice and judgment and duality, exercising my intellectual ability, maybe if I stop eating from that tree, and maybe if I ate from the tree of life, what does that mean in 2022? I'm going to eat, I'm going to consume from the tree of life. Well, you ask yourself, how does a man ensure his immortality? How does he continue to live and thrive long after he's gone? The same way that we're still talking about Abraham today. The same way we're still talking about Isaac today. The same way we're still talking about Israel today. You have sons. And it's like you never left. You will have one that will represent your name and your legacy in the earth long after you're gone. Maybe you don't subscribe to that. All you got to do is just look at the Rockefellers. Look at the Warburgs. Look at the Rothschilds. Look at the Kennedys. Look at the Bushes. Look at the Trumps. Look at the Vanderbilts. Look at the JP Morgans. Look at these families and ask yourself, if they were able to dominate within the family structure, maybe I should be trying to do the same thing, because I see how they use the examples of the text to do the exact same thing. See, that's what I was talking about. These immutable principles that don't change. It's like somebody who pays tithes. Tithes is a principle given to us by the Most High that's about seed time and harvest, planting and sowing. Sowing and reaping, reciprocity, seed time and harvest. That's going to always be around that. If you plant that seed, it doesn't matter whether you're righteous, whether you're wicked, whether you're evil, whether you're destructive. It doesn't matter about that. That was not a prerequisite or a condition for this blessing to be allocated to you. It just says, if you do it, I'll bless you. These men have unlocked our text. I was listening to this rabbi, which I typically don't do, but I did, There was a time when I was angry. It's a lot of angry Hebrews out there. See, the truth will drive you mad. It can make you mad. It can make you angry when you found out you've been lied to all these years. And I get it. I understand it. I'm in a family. I'm in a healthier place right now. That's all I can say. I'm in a healthier place. It's a good place. It's a healthy, more mature, masculine place, because the ability to negotiate, to be diplomatic, that's masculine. That's neither here nor there. But I'm in a healthier place, and I was listening to Rabbi Lapkin, and he was sharing some really, really weighty Torahic concepts that caused me to think differently, that caused me to expand my thought, that caused me to look at the scriptures a little bit different, because, you know what, I said this before, he was talking about how the Jewish people, in quotation, this people group, they're very, very successful financially. They get money. That's all I can say. They get money. And it's a reason for that, because they live their life on certain principles that I'm embracing. Living underneath your means, far underneath your means, not having a bunch of frivolous purchases, not trying to show your value or your net worth by the things that you wear, feeling accomplished based on the type of glasses that you have on, the type of shirt and tie and necklace and bracelet. Hey, I'm a jewelry designer. Shout out the House of Daweed. But I'm not trying to get people to define themselves by a brand versus to connect with a brand and say, hey, this has value. And if I'm going to buy a bracelet, then let me just go buy something from my brother. I'm going to buy a gold ring, silver ring. Let me get it from a brother that, all of his stuff come with receipts, authentic.